a 6-year master's or doctorate degree, but what I am proposing is at least a 2-year degree, or a trade degree as well. So, if you think about somebody who's, and you guys may have been in this situation, you left college, you owe as much in college debt as you could take that money and pay a down payment on a house.
Yeah.
Or beyond that, being raised in a home where you didn't feel like getting a college education was, an opportunity available for you. There's a lot of people that have just never been told that that's an option, that they just feel like you go to school or quit school early and go to work. And I know many years ago, that was the thing for a lot of people. You went to work when you were old enough and you helped take care of your family. I think as a society, we've moved beyond that. So, as you can see from the A's of handouts, having a college education makes a difference in the level of income that you make. And it may make the difference in being employed or not, for some. Public opinion shows about 63% of the population would be in favor of the government paying for a public education for qualified students. And what I mean for qualified students is those who, meet the requirements, graduate from high school, have a certain GPA, and things like that. And it's estimated that it would take about 1% of the federal budget to fund this. So if you look at the pie chart, and I've seen two different things. This one I printed off shows 18. Our welfare budget is 16 to 18% of the federal budget. So, I'm not here promoting tax increase by no means, but why couldn't we take that 1% from that welfare budget? Because, we know there's a lot of waste there. There's a lot of waste. There's a lot of abuse. So, with that said, if you think about the long-term investment, so as of 2025, federal and state and local welfare budget is about $1.5 trillion. So about half of that is Medicaid and the other half is things like SNAP benefits or housing assistance and other things. So that shakes out to about over 72 million people, which is about 22% of our population that's receiving some kind of benefit from our welfare budget. Now, you can't tell me that all of that's legit. Now, if you take a low and middle class income family, I've worked in public housing for a while, and I know that you can get in a situation where you think this is your lot in life, and it just becomes generational. We might I worked in maintenance, so we might work on the grandmothers, the mothers, the daughters, even as far down as the granddaughters. But if you can educate these people, and that's just never been told that they can accomplish things, you do a couple different things with this education. And what you can do is, if you create a sense of accomplishment in people, if you can encourage them and instill in them that they matter, their life matters, and they can benefit society. And once you do that, they become taxpayers. And the tax revenue, the social benefits far outweigh the cost. If you're talking about trillions of dollars in federal funding, that's just going to take care of someone from birth to the time their life is over. You're talking about 65, 75, 80 years of being on the federal dime. the government's, taxpayers' expense. If you educate them in their 20s and put them to work, then not only are you not paying that, but you're reaping the rewards, they're paying taxes, and you've broke that cycle, that mentality. And a lot of people that think college is not for them, they're just not that person, didn't come from that background. So, with that said, a lot of the feedback that you'll see is, it'll raise taxes. And again, depending on who's running the government, that would definitely be the answer, is would have to increase taxes. But not all governments are run that way. Some understand that we don't have to increase taxes. Let's take from some of the waste that we've already created and use the money that way. So that would be my answer to that. Some would say it reduces the value in a degree if everybody has one. And I don't think that's the case either, because the quality of the degree depends on the integrity of the school it's coming from. If the school is just handing them out to anybody with a heartbeat, then the degree wasn't any good no matter who has it. So a negative side is if we don't act, if we don't do something, then the problem isn't going to fix itself, and then upward mobility for a lot of folks will just not be available. But if we do make college tuition free, then the workforce gets stronger, the economy gets stronger, and economic mobility, it won't shrink, it'll grow. So take a look at the handout, and let me know if, again, time doesn't allow me to give you all the information, and I'm not saying it's, one size fits all, or if there's an easy fix. But I think going to our local representatives and letting them know that we feel like this is a good idea, they need to take a look at it, is a great place to start. So, does anybody have any questions? Concerns? Ideas?
Well, the idea of higher education, like you said, it does not dilute the degree or the value of the degree, because if you know nothing, you know nothing. And the more you learn, the more capable you are of creating or becoming a value to those around you.
Exactly, and just as a whole, society as a whole, productivity. You know what I mean? If everybody is more, and I don't want to I won't say smarter or not smarter, because everybody's smart in their own right. You're either trained or not trained, if you want to use a fighter's terminology. You're either been taught or you haven't. It doesn't have anything to do with your ability, it's what you've been exposed to. And if you're exposed to these things and increase your knowledge, then society as a whole is better off. Everyone's better off if everybody's more advanced.
Well, this country was founded, first of all, or when it was founded, they started educating those who couldn't read at all. And look what that's created just in itself.
Exactly.
Just teaching people to read.
Exactly.
And that's how the education system started out. And it's grown and grown, and now look where it is. And look what this country's done.
Yeah, and that's, and there's a lot of things, I think education's free in Canada. Now, I wouldn't be a proponent of all Canada's policies by no means, but I think that's a good thing that they're doing. And I'll finish with a couple of quotes. One is maybe one of the only things that Bernie Sanders has ever said that I agree with, is he says that education should be a right, not a privilege. And Vince Lombardi said the only place that success comes before work is in the dictionary.
I think back to the Imagination Library, you think about, reading comprehension has increased so much. I don't have statistics, but it has increased greatly since the Imagination Library came out, where they were giving free books to children up to age 5. They were getting that early reading that they might not have gotten had they not been getting the free books. And I think the whole thing of offering this education, college education, you have to motivate people, and if they're, you gotta have some kind of motivation.
That's the thing about it. You gotta have them motivated and you gotta encourage them. And there will be some that take advantage of it. There has to be checks and balances. If you complete it, you don't know nothing. And if you wanna go on, if you wanna stay on campus, then you need to work and pay for that. If you wanna go on to a bigger or further your education more, then you need to pay for that. But to get you started and in the door, and even working in the occupation that you're going to school for, you know, it enhances everything.